What's going on? This is Maverick Sabre. I just want to do a big shout out to entertainmentfocus.com.
How are you feeling today?
Yeah, feeling good. Got a bit of a blocked nose, but I always do. But yeah, good. The album's out. The album's number 2 in a minute. Yeah, so it's just good that it feels like people are really warming to the music. So I'm delighted.
Yeah. How does it feel to have your work, your creation, out in the world now?
Really great. It's like I've let off a little child. And I'm seeing it grow up and people become friends with it, and yeah, no, it's really nice, really nice. A lot of work has been put into it, so it's nice to see it kind of like build it back up, you know.
Yeah. Do you have a single also coming out? Can you tell me a little bit about the single?
Yeah, we had no one's out actually now. And yeah, it was probably one of the simplest songs off the record. It's a heartbreak song. It's based on true heartbreak, and yeah, that's about it. That's the simpleness of the song. So yeah, I hope people warm to that as well.
So tell me a little bit about 2011, because it's been quite a good year for you.
Yeah.
What were your personal highlights?
I think my personal highlights were I did Jules Holland. Jules Holland was definitely kind of it was like a stepping stone. I thought this has been a program I've watched since I've been a kid with my father back in Ireland. For so many years, and I've seen so many artists start off on that level. Like when I saw Plan B for the first time, James Morrison for the first time on that, Dell for the first time. So yeah, that was definitely a moment for me that I was able to have my mother and father in the crowd, and for them to see the progression as well. And yeah, I suppose I sold it. I think a high point for me, I sold out my up and coming tours in March. And I'm playing my London dates on the 10th of March, and I'm playing in Camden Roundhouse, and I sold that out the other day. So for me, that's a kind of a big step for me, definitely.
How is it back home when you play there?
Yeah, good. It's just like a homecoming gig, you know, and everybody's really supportive back home, especially in the town I was raised in. You know, it's like a big family of support there. So it's nice to have that backbone there to fall back on every now and then. You know?
Cool. Do you You've had some great collaborations, interesting ones as well.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you would love to collaborate with at the moment?
I'd love to do something with a singer, an English singer called Liam Bailey, because I feel like duets haven't been done as much in our generation as they should have been, especially with two male vocals together. I think it'd be nice. I'd like to do something with Alicia Keys. Erica Badu, Jill Scott. I'm pretty big into my kind of like neo soul right now at the minute. And I'd love to do something with the Roots. Would love to do something with the Roots. I was lucky enough to get one of their instrumentals on my album. So yeah, if I could do it, I'd love to do like a little project with them. It'd be heavy.
Are those your type of idols? Are these the kind of people that inspire you?
Yeah, at the minute, that's it. At the minute, they're the people that inspire me now. It's the music I'm listening to that inspire me now at the minute. So it'd be nice to definitely do a feature.
So how did it all begin? How did you get into music?
My dad was a musician, and he'd been a musician since he'd been like 16. So being brought up, I always had music around me. Like even from like when I was about. There's a little picture I've got at home of me when I was about 4, and I'm in some mad loft with all of my dad's friends, and they're playing, and I'm banging on a harmonica in the background. I'm really small, like, so I was always kind of surrounded by music and going to his shows, and he kind of like brought me up on music, and so did my mother. I mean, so when I got to about 8 and 9, I remember hearing "Stand By Me" by Benny King, and I fell in love with the track. I was a big fan of the movie as well, but there was just something about that song that just kind of made me fall in love with music in a different way. I think it was when the strings come in and it just kind of lifts you up and gives you goosebumps and that. It was just like a natural, not to sound cheesy, but like a natural connection, and I just fell in love with music and loved the power of music. And then from there I kind of soaked up as much music as I could, almost like, you know, in that scene in The Matrix, when Neo gets the plug in the back of his head. It was almost
getting
like,
all the intel.
Yeah, it was almost like that. I went down and had my mother and father's record collection, and used to sit in my attic at the time and just flip through them, you know, and soak up everything. Even if it was a a cover that I liked, I'd go and listen to the record. I got into everything from Carole King to Ray Charles to the Beatles, everything I just soaked up. And then when I was about 14, I got into hip hop because I loved it. I fell in love with like the directness of it, like the kind of immediate connection to the emotion in the song. If that makes sense. Like if Tupac was angry in a song, you know it from the first syllable of the verse. You know what I mean? You know it. You get that feeling from it. And you get it wouldn't take 4 or 5 lines to get one point across. He'd say it in one line. If he hated society, he'd say it in one line. You know what I mean? And also I loved hip hop because it blended in everything I'd been brought up on. It had the blues, it had the soul, it had rock, it had heavy metal, it had everything kind of mashed into one. It had jazz, you know. And I always loved mixing and kind of blended styles of music, because I didn't see a point in kind of segregating yourself as a music fan. If I'm a music fan, I'm going to like any type of music, you know.
That's true.
I like good music, you know, not a specific type of music, you know what I mean? I started MCing on the Irish hip hop scene when I was 15. I could already play guitar, and then gradually I just started to bring my guitar and my singing more into my performances, and over the years I kind of blended the sound together and started singing my lyrics more, still writing them in rap form, but singing them more, and kind of form the sound I have now.
Yeah. So your album's quite organic though, even though you have all these influences. Yeah. I find the album just plays so easily because every track really blends with each other really well. Yeah. How was it for you in the studio? Did you get involved a lot?
Oh yeah, well, I'm involved down to the last bit. You know what I mean? Like I'm in there, co-producing everything. You know. So yeah, it was just kind of for me it was more of a kind of a natural. The album was like a natural progression as well. You know, I never really sat down at the start of the album and said this is the kind of sound I need to have on it. You know, like there's a track on it that I recorded in my bedroom when I was 17 in Ireland, and I produced that all myself. Yet it still blends in with like the newest track I did a month before I finished the album off, which for me made me feel happy about the album. That all the sounds, even from the years apart, still blended together, and it kind of shows you that natural kind of progression. I just, for me, wanted to make an album that was as universal as possible. To be honest, I didn't want to segregate anybody because I don't see the point in for me, just personally making music that someone's going to feel like they can't listen to because they're a certain age or they're from a certain background. I don't want that, or they're a certain fan of a certain type of music. I'd like people who've never listened to a hip hop track before be at a show standing beside a hip hop fan. I just kind of want to bring people together with the music, and that's what I set out to do.
Yeah, you mentioned before that Sometimes was your baby. Are there any other tracks on the album that were old and you really wanted to be on there? I Need was another old track that went through so many different stages, you know. During its creation, it was a track I was delighted to have on it. So yeah, like tracks like I Need and Sometimes are definitely almost like little babies within the baby, if that makes sense, you know. So yeah, it's nice to get them finally on it. And I really like I Used to Have It All.
Okay, great.
But I found it a bit sarcastic, maybe.
Sarcastic?
You're very young.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. Do you feel like an old soul?
In a weird way, a tiny bit. I don't know how to explain it, but when people said that to me before, and I do a tiny bit. But obviously I'm still young, I'm a young man, do you know what I mean? I'm still, when you talk to me, you still see I'm still a young man, you know, but I don't want that to restrict what I can say and what I can do within my music. You know, I don't feel like my age should kind of restrict me from being allowed to talk about certain things, you know. Because music has always been about representing what the people feel, you know, and specifically you. And I feel like we've kind of lost that within music now. You know, where music now, mainstream music, is almost standing for what the 50-year-old label boss wants the youth to think. You know. So yeah, I suppose you could say maybe I'm an old soul, but in a young 20-year-old, 21-year-old man's body.
The perfect combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Your lyrics are always very honest. What's important to you when you're writing music?
Being honest. and being true about how I feel. Whether it be me talking from an outsider's perspective on a social issue, political issue, whether it be me talking about something that's happened in my personal life or telling a story, I want to be honest, you know, because for me, if you're real to yourself, then people will recognize that and be able to connect with it. I think the minute you start lying to yourself and pretending is the minute you lose connection with normality, you know, and that might last for a bit, but I don't want to make music that's, you know, that you can throw away. I don't see the point in that. You know, disposable music, I don't really see the point in doing that. I don't want to do that, and I hope my music is longer lasting, you know. That's just what I hope.
You talk a lot about your band and how you enjoy them.
Yeah.
Do you have any anecdotes from being on the road?
What little funny stories in that. There was we were going to Ibiza, I think it was Ibiza, and we were going through customs in security check, in Heathrow Airport. So obviously they've got the big sign saying, "Don't bring scissors, don't bring this, don't bring that." And my keys player, right, really like nice lad, I mean calm lad, Joe. I'm going through with him, so we're walking through, having a chat, go through security, everyone's fine. They bring his bag out and they say, "Sorry, whose bag's this?" He says, "Oh, that's my bag." So anyway, I'm standing beside him. He opens his bag up, right, and they pull out this wash bag, like a little small wash bag.
Yeah.
And they open it up and there's 2 scissors in there, about that big, like big thick scissors. I said, "What's this?" And he's looked and he's gone, "Oh." And they've looked at him and he went, "Oh, they're not mine." And I was like, "Oh Lord." And then he went, "Sometimes people just put things in my bag, I don't know who packed it." And he was like, the lad behind the counter, behind the security thing was like, "What?" Like,
are you actually saying this?
So basically you're saying everything that we told you not to at the start of the security check, and I'm saying, "Joe, shut up, Joe, shut up." I ended up just walking away from him. The lad was laughing, you know, somebody goes, "Look, I'm taking these."
Did he get to Ibiza in the end?
Yeah, he got to Ibiza, we were all good, you know what I mean? But that's the last time I'm ever travelling through security with him beside him, because we can all get nicked.
No, my favourite question is, because they ask you, did you pack your own bag?
Yeah, and he basically said everything opposite that they didn't want to hear. That was a funny one.
So what's next on your agenda?
Pushing the album. We're doing some promotional dates in Europe. Got some shows in America, and just pushing the album. Just want to push the album as much as I can, you know, and then tour the album. That's where you get the immediate connection, you know, and that's where people can see the emotion on the tracks directly, you know, directly in front of them. We can all get on a level and enjoy good night music, you know.
Do you have any gigs from last year that really stand out?
Yeah, there's a lot of gigs. I'm trying to think of any specific one I can pick out. When I think for me one of the ones was when I did a jazz cafe. It was like my first London headline in a while, and it was sold out. It was like 500 capacity. I had a load of family there and friends, and it was kind of the first one I'd done since I made a bit of a name for myself, if that makes sense. And I barely had to sing the songs, like, because everyone knew the lyrics, because it was like the hardcore fans were there. And the last song I did, my song called "I Need." Like, I wrote that when I was about 17 living back in Ireland, you know what I mean? And to go on stage and have like 500 people singing it back to me was a really nice moment, you know what I mean? And almost like it made me start crying on that. So yeah, it was nice that people have kind of warmed to the song and connected with it on that.
It makes it easier, you can just let them sing it.
Yeah, I'm just going to the show and just turn up and put them with mic. But it's nice because it makes me enjoy it as well, you know? Because I want to be able to enjoy it, I should be enjoying it as much as they do, you know? Because then if I'm not enjoying it, they won't enjoy it, you know what I mean? And I love my music, so it's good to get that.
So for the last question, what would your advice be to any musician trying to make it in the industry?
Stay true to yourself. You know, do it for love, don't do it for anything else. But I can't knock anybody, you know what I mean? Everyone needs to make money and put food on the table and clothes on their back, you know. Everything else will come along with that, but your main focus got to be doing it for love and making music that you love.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.